Okay, I had another thing to share. I was outside and I was standing on like one of these stumps and I was like taking in the sun rays and I thought of another thing that I had thought of a while ago, but I should share it. I was thinking about the nighttime and the daytime. And like one seems very concentrated with light and the other one seems very concentrated with dark. And I think about the nighttime and people sleep during the nighttime. Well, I mean, the majority in this dimension. And it's like I find something very magical about the nighttime because I feel as though the people, people that are dreaming during that time, it's like so much truth in your mind pockets and all these dreams, and it's like you're literally accessing different realms and different dimensions. And it like is all posted up on the wall. This very concentrated truth. That's kind of how I see the nighttime, is like this concentrated truth. And it's like so much truth that it looks like nighttime, but it's like all these frequencies that everybody's dreaming about. And I think that's why I find it so magical. And and all right, hold on a second. um it's like I always picture this energy distribution. I always talk about energy distribution, and there's so much energy that happens during the nighttime. People have these fantastical dreams, and the Bible even talks about, there'll be lots of dreams, or I don't remember exactly what it says, but it talks about in Revelations about, or somewhere in there about, like, there'll be a lot of dreams, like the children or the sons will have a lot of dreams or something like that. And it's like all this truth is coming to fruition, and people are dreaming about all kinds of stuff. And I always picture, this is what I picture in my mind. I picture a world where the distribution of concentrated energy from day to night like meshes together so that all is revealed, so that all can be seen clearly, and it's not so concentrated. Because like if there's too much bright white light, all you see is reflection and it looks like just white. Like maybe that's why people see a lot of white before they, no, well, like near-death experiences where they see like a whole lot of white or like a tunnel or something, and they see like shadows or something like that in the white. And it's like this reflection, it's like all this color all at once. And like in the nighttime, there's so much concentrated color in that, in the darkness, that it's hard to see everything because of that concentrated color. And I always picture a world where it's like evenly distributed, and then maybe that's when all things are revealed. And I don't know if that's true, but I always kind of picture like that sort of energy distribution of color and light and frequency, and being able to see all these different dimensions and all of these people in history. I think it would be really cool, to be able to experience that. So when I see the dualities, like light and dark, good and evil, um, black and white, whatever you want to call it, it's like, okay, but there's lots of shades of gray, and there's like, monochromatic. There's this green and there's this green, and all you do is either add black and white, and you get a totally different shade of that color, but it's still the same color, just a different frequency. And when you like distribute the energy, you can see different things, just like different dimensions and stuff like that. And maybe that's what it looks like when the whole world wakes up, is like the energy is distributed and all things are revealed. I feel like I just repeated myself a lot. um, and even though we're sleeping in this realm at a certain time at night, these other dimensions, maybe they're awake. And when I'm awake right now, maybe other dimensions are sleeping. And because sometimes this is what I experience. Like sometimes when I make a video, right, and I feel like I exhausted or exalted like a lot of a lot of truth, a lot of positivity and stuff. I feel like a little heavier, like, you know, like almost like I'm sleeping, and it's like I gotta breathe and I gotta get up and I gotta move around. I go outside and I let the sun sort of wash over me, and then I just breathe and I'm like, yeah, all right. Like I feel lighter, like lighthearted. And my mom was talking to me, and she was like, you feel heavier. You realize you release a lot of truth, a lot of your own truth out there, and all that positivity, and then you feel heavy. And she's like, you know, how does it make you feel? And I'm like, I don't know. It's like I don't really understand why I would feel heavier. I feel like I should feel lighter. And she's like, okay, well, it kind of feels like you're sleeping. I'm like, yeah, kind of. And she's like, well, you have to realize that in other dimensions, maybe they are sleeping. And maybe by releasing all of that information, you're literally waking up that institution in another dimension, that other frequency. And so they're kind of like, you know, sort of like sleeping. But then, like, when I went outside and I moved my mind pockets to find, you know, to find the sun, to let that wash over me, that other energy source, um, I feel lighter. And she's like, well, you have to understand that when people wake up, you can feel it. Like, you can feel it when people are sleeping. You can feel it when people are awake. And if you ever feel like you've said a lot and then you feel kind of heavy, it's because you've kind of uploaded, you know, just like a computer, you've uploaded a lot of information. And then the energy from your voice and from your video is like distributed and disseminated to lots of people on different frequencies just by talking in this space right here. By talking, my vocal cords speak to my body. I mean, it's full of fluids, so it reverberates off of the oceans inside of my body. And the little cellmates inside of my body, just like the cellmates in the internet and, you know, in my immediate reality here in my neighborhood, I'm literally exhausting or exalting my own perception of things to many different dimensions all at once just by doing this. And she's like, you just got to give it some time and you got to relax a little and, you know, go outside, breathe some fresh air, move around, and you wake up like more calmly, like calmer and gentler. And you've got to realize that there's nothing wrong with your system. You're just unlocking and awakening like those different cities in your body. You know, maybe that's what the Bible is talking about, like the tribes of Judah and the tribes of, I mean, I don't really know all of them, but I know enough to be able to make some connections that I find very interesting. Like when they talk about, you know, the tribes or the city being built, and it's like, it's not only in our immediate reality, but it's also inside of our body. So if you feel something kind of heavy or something, it's like, you know, just move around. Maybe they're, it's almost like, this is what I picture in my mind. It's like if you feel kind of heavy, it's like there's a lot of construction going on. We'll say like right here, right? Or like your legs or something, and you feel kind of heavy right there. And she's like, you know, maybe that's a certain location that's not only in your body, but it's also a location in another dimension or in the world, or, you know, just another frequency somewhere else. And they're going to work. They're going to work, and they're building construction, and they're rebuilding that city like in your body. It's like you're connecting on like a cellular level to that institution somewhere else. And she's like, and by going with the movement, you know, it's like if you feel like your legs are cramped and you kind of stretch out a bit, and then like, oh, like you can breathe better and you feel better. It's like the same thing. You're helping that system move more freely by giving them more oxygen. You know, you're giving more oxygen, just like the trees give us, you know, all of the ingredients that we need to keep breathing, and we exalt our ingredients to keep them, to help them breathe. I think it's the same institution. To be able to recognize that, and instead of thinking like, oh, there's something wrong with me, it's like, well, maybe you just got to move around a bit. Maybe they're missing a certain element outside, or you know, something like that. Yeah. I think our bodies are very, very in tune with the world, and I think a lot of people are having issues with their system because they're simply so in tune, and that maybe they don't realize that they're just feeling the changes that are happening um, to the earth, to people waking up in different dimensions, even if it isn't this immediate dimension. Maybe we're just so in tune that our bodies are literally changing different frequencies because people are waking up on other dimensions and this dimension and, anything. And I was like, wow, like, it's like my mom, spirit tells me that, and it's like I feel comfortable immediately because something in my body says, yeah, okay. Like, it's immediately taken in because I know that. It's like I knew that intuitively. But at the same time, my human side is like, well, I never really thought of it that way. But then immediately it's like I see a picture in my brain of like some pages in like the Bible where it talks, like I don't even remember much of it, but somehow I remember enough to be able to make the connection to certain books in history. Um, and to be able to access that memory, to be able to access that, whether or not I read it over a million times. I mean, I don't think I've ever read the whole Bible all the way through, but there are certain things that you just remember in the moment for a reason. It like helps to better like explain yourself to other people, um, and I find so much truth in that book and so much science, and I mean science. There's so much going on in that book because I immediately make the connection, and it literally makes me feel better. It literally makes me feel better. Yeah. So I guess what I'm saying is that if you ever feel like something's going on in a system, you feel constricted, maybe you just need some oxygen. Maybe you just gotta, like, take a little stroll around the block and help move that congested area wherever it is. Stretch it out. Stretch and breathe, or like have some water, or have some coffee, or go for a little run or a stroll, or love on your pets at home, or give your partner a big old hug or a smooch on the cheek or something. It's like it's all energy distribution, and it's all concentrated in one area on your body, like the concentrated color in the nighttime. And maybe it's just got to move around. It's got to move around those frequencies, and then it's like you feel better. You like literally provide the movement that it needed to move through your system instead of being in one concentrated area. Like when I woke up this morning and I felt like my heart was like, oh, so excited, but I was like a little bit uncomfortable because I was like, geez, I'm so excited. And she was like, well, maybe there's other people in different frequencies that are feeling the exact same. Maybe they're excited that you shared, so much a couple days ago, and you're feeling it now. Like, I mean, what if it's not just my excitement? What if it's a lot of people's excitement all at once, and I'm just feeling it? Instead of thinking I'm having like a heart problem, I just looked outside and I felt so much better looking at the sun that literally like moved that frequency through my system, and I feel like amazing. Yeah, so I guess like if you ever feel something very concentrated in one area, sometimes just moving your system around helps move the system around the city, the people doing some construction, and your little cellmates, little cell bodies in there are like doing something really awesome, and you just gotta, move around a little bit. Like a massage. It's like a massage on the outside, moving around, or like, massaging something over here or whatever. That gives them the freedom to move around, and the oxygen and everything else that they need. It's kind of cool. It's like there's little people in your system and in your system, and they're like, hey, we can't breathe. Can you just move around a little bit? All right, I feel a lot better. It's like physical activity. It doesn't have to be like completely exhausting. Sometimes you just gotta walk around a little bit, or like just stay in the sun for a little bit if you don't really feel like walking around the block or whatever. You can just like run up and down the stairs or something like that, or take a shower. I don't know, whatever wakes your system up. Alright. Wow, I've shared a lot this morning. Okay. Thanks for watching.